Hi everyone, my name is Albert Ilzolitary. Today I want to talk to you about CSS3 transitions and transform. First off, transitions allows you to change property values smoothly. Transitions are important because without them the transformations would change abruptly and would look very cheap. For transformations to be as smooth as possible. To create a transition effect, you must specify two things: the CSS property you want it to affect to, and the translation duration of the effect. There's no specific value for duration. If there is no specific value, then duration will just be 0 by default, which means the transition will have no effect at all. Other transition properties are transition timing function and transition delay. This allows you to speed up the duration. Transition timing function allows you to speed up the duration to transition. Transition delay allows you to specify when you want the transition or the transformation to start. Here are the values. Here's transforms. Here are the values that that you can use in transforms. There are a few more. I just use these just for now. But transforms are how you make the element change from one state to another. The transform property allows you to visually change an element either by rotating, moving, skewing, scaling, sliding, so on and so forth. The transforms are triggered when an element changes states, such as a mouse hover or a mouse click, something like that. Some type of it has to be triggered, so some type of event trigger. And like I said, here are the values and here are the descriptions for each of the different values that transformation can have. A good example of something that I worked on in my group project was this magic 8 ball. I worked on the shake and roll. So let's see where that's at. I loved doing this because it made sense to me, and so I would like to show you guys how I made it work. Awesome. So here's just the example for the shake. And we'll come back to that in a few. Sorry. We'll come back to this. So this will translate the animation or the transition from the X and Y axis. So it's a 2D translation. This is a 3D translation. This is just a translation on the X axis. So if you want to spin or to roll on the X axis, then you would use translate X with the value inside of that. If you want it to move up and down, you can use the Y, translate Y. If you want it to pop in, like have it go in and out, kind of like it's zooming in and out, you'd use the translate Z. Scale, you kind of saw that in my previous video with it's kind of very, very similar with translate Z, but it's not as 3D. It's a 2D version. And then you can also do just as the rest, rotate. You can rotate an image so it's spinning, and skew. And so yeah, that's the chart. My first example that I have is a rotate example, and this is an example. This applies the CSS to this square right here. We're giving it a height, margin, the background color, the the color of the text, the font of the text, the weight, the size, the text align, so it's centered into the box. And then here, transition. This is going to give you the transition duration is going to be 0.3 seconds, so it's quick. And transition timing, timing function is ease, so it's kind of it's smoother. You see that? It's not like a quick twitch. Like if you go like that, it twitches, but like when you hover over it, it works fine. So here is the name of the transition, rotate, hover. So when the mouse hovers, it doesn't need to be clicked, it just needs to be hovered. It will, on the rotate Z, it'll go -3 degrees. And then these are just the WebKits for the different browsers. So that's Google Chrome. And this is just kind of just the normal transform, which is transform dot colon rotate Z is the value, and -30 degrees is the actual how much you want to spin. So if you want to do 360 degrees, you would be able to do that. Just type in 360 and it'll rotate all the way around. The next example is square circle. Like the previous one, this is all the just general CSS, not the transitional, but the general CSS, where you want the transition to last for 3 seconds, and you want to ease in, or ease throughout the whole thing, not just ease in, but you want it to ease throughout the whole thing. So here's the name of the transition, and here's the actual transition value, border radius. This is just a animation transition value where you want the border radius to be 50%, making it a circle. So you ease in, it's easing throughout the whole thing. Just kind of, so when you hover over it, it'll turn into a circle. When you take it off, it'll turn back into a square. This colon dot hover is important. There are various types of I believe they're called pseudo parameters. There's hover, active, and I can't remember all of them at this time, at the moment, but there's just a few. So, but active would mean that it would happen. You wouldn't need to hover over it. It just does it automatically when you open the page. And my third example, example 3, what it does is using the at keyframes with the name skew. At 0%, you want to transform using the skew x to 20 degrees, and 100% you want it to skew x at -20 degrees, which will go all the way back. So that's -20 degrees. That's going to the right, to the left, or my left, to the positive 20 degrees. With the animation, this is just animation, which is infinite, 3 seconds. And then animation direction is alternate. If you did it normal, it would do the other way. Yeah. I said this was negative, but that's positive. I said this is positive, that's negative, that's positive, that's negative. So right now it's doing 100%, and right now it's doing 20%. All right. Example 4. This just does a little rotate. Kind of makes it spin a little. Gives the background color. This is the animation for it, but transform is what we want to talk about. it's going to rotate 30 degrees with a see-through value opacity of 0.7. You can tell right here when it rotates, it's going over the line. But that is just a regular CSS property. And here's what we really want to see is the 0%. At 0%, it's going to rotate. It's not going to rotate. It's just going to start in position. At 100%, you want it to do a 360 degree rotate, which you see. So at 0, and that's 100. And that's pretty much that. Just kind of want to look at this really quick, this side, where you can see the code, this transformation code. So this is all animation, CSS animation, but the transform is the keyframe with the name value of shake slow. So 2% is going to translate. It's going to go and move to 7px, 7 pixels by 5 pixels, and rotate by -0.5 degrees, giving it a little shake. And so this, what it does by 2, 4, 6, 8, all this is making it kind of go faster. You have a lot going on, and by saying that you want it done in 5 seconds, it will do all this, do 2 to 100 to all in 5 seconds, making it go super fast. So it's going to put this at 7 pixels, 5 pixels, then to -7 pixels, 1 pixels, all the way down to go to -8 pixels, 6 pixels. So that's kind of how it works. And it's going to rotate, it's shaking. It's rotating at 0.5 degrees, as -1.5 degrees. These are all at the 82%, 84%, 86% mark. And that is pretty much this. On the bottom here is just regular animation, CSS animation, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed this sharing video.